All right, everybody. Welcome back for another one. And I wanted to start this video off taking a look at the Elastos chart with you because we're finally getting some price action, right? For those of you that have been in Elastos as long as me, all you really have ever seen is the price go down, right? Elastos started out on the wrong foot as far as an investment, but whenever you believe in the tech, it's very smart to stick with the project, right? Find the projects that are actually building something that have good connections, might eventually get the deserved price action on the back end. So anyway, Elastos, it finally broke over that $5 limit or resistance, and honestly, from here, this thing doesn't have much more resistance in its way at all to just keep running. All right, so this little range right here, I think, is where you could see the first resistance area that we need to get above, basically like 11.7. If we break above there, the next time you'll see some resistance is going to come around $24. All right, who knows if it will even be that significant. I just think from here on, Elastos looks really good from a charting perspective. And also wanted to point out some maybe future expectations for price targets, right? So if you do the fib levels, fib extensions, anyway, on the actual dollar chart, you're going to get to extend it all the way up to about $400 in valuation as a potential peak. But what I think is more important to look at is the total market cap. So for those of you that don't know, Elastos, when it first launched, came out at around 7 million circulation. It was very minimal because of the way they had structured the tokenomics, right? But right now it's about 19 million. So they've gotten all of the issues, burdens out of the way. Mostly the entire supply is circulating, with about 19 million circulating and 23 million in existence, with a hard cap at 28 million. So, but anyway, as you can see against the market cap, the price is doing pretty well. So the highest it's ever been was about 332 million, it looks like. We're rapidly approaching that. We've got a little bit more than double to go before we get there, more like a little less than triple. But anyway, so whenever you use the market cap fib levels, a more realistic price expectation, I think, for this year, even an achievement to get to, would be $71. All right, so full fib extension on market cap would take us up to about 1.3 billion. I think it can definitely go higher than that. I'm just saying a realistic price target, first one to hit for me, is going to be $71. I think that is possible, and that's just if you take this 1.3 billion divided by 19 million. There you go, $71. All right, so that's it for the price news. Just wanted to really cover that briefly because, it's great to see. And if you're a long-term Elastos holder, congratulations. I think we are in the clear to see this thing run a lot more. All right. Next up, I wanted to point out this tweet that basically carries me into the rest of the subject of the video. So Donnie Bullers, he's leading the Tomb Technologies and a couple other things for Elastos right now, working with the World Economic Forum as well. And he pointed out that this article that I'm about to cover, 6 data policy issues experts are tracking right now, is written by the same group in the World Economic Forum community that Elastos is part of. All right. And briefly wanted to give credit to Geico ELA. Sorry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. But go ahead and follow him. He's a great Elastos community member. And if anybody knows what's going on there, it's this guy. So check it out. But moving over to the article, 6 data policy issues experts are tracking right now. And so I'm not going to hit every point, but I want to touch on the one section that actually stuck out to me. So one of the 6 points is data policy safeguards in the digital economy. So this one was written by Leslie Go, who is a fellow at Cambridge University and former CTO at the World Bank Group, which I will cover a little more after this. So she writes, in the digital economy, data has become a critical resource that can be monetized and yield significant benefits to individuals and companies. However, there are risks that the data can be stolen, misused, or manipulated without the consent of the individual who originated the information. Consumer protection guidelines and standards are well established for physical products and commercial services globally, but there are little to no established global norms and standards on how specific data harms can be reduced to protect people. There are a few challenges that make it difficult to set data protection standards, namely, the damage inflicted on the victim of a data misuse is not immediately obvious to the victim and thus hard to quantify in near term. And since data can easily cross boundaries both in real and digital world, it is difficult to identify which jurisdiction would apply in cases where there are cross-border data privacy violations. All right. So the reason this stuck out to me, first and foremost, is because obviously what it sounds like she's talking about is we need to have a new way as a whole to handle data, right? And safeguards. Well, maybe that would be with a new internet infrastructure, right? Obviously, this isn't just speculation anymore because Elastos is part of this global innovators group that is writing all these articles. So we know they're in there, right? And this is what their entire Web3 is about. So, but anyway, if you come over to her LinkedIn and check it out, you can see that she's still at the World Bank right now. She's serving as a senior technology advisor that advise on the adoption of technology innovations to boost the digital economy in emerging markets such as East Asia Pacific, Middle East, North Africa, and Sub-Saharan Africa regions. Okay, so you get it. She's advising the World Bank on certain things that apply to the digital economy and emerging technologies. All right, so there you go. Well, what else stuck out about this? Well, she's at the World Bank, right? And for those of you who aren't familiar with Elastos history, well, in March of 2019, Sunny Fang and Kevin Zhang were over there meeting with them. So the World Bank is finding Elastos use cases outstanding. The World Bank is finding Elastos modern internet ideas outstanding. The world's financial regulatory body has been inviting Elastos co-founder Feng Han and Kevin Zhang to its office in Washington, D.C. for deliberation on a better internet devoid of security glitches. Right, so there they are at the World Bank, as you can see, March of 2019. Earlier, Feng had delivered a presentation on a closely related topic at the Huawei Institute in Chengdu on the topic blockchain and the modern internet. The presentation, which came up on January 12, 2019, opened those present to Elastos' understanding of modern internet. They go on to say, one would think all these are enough until World Bank called Elastos for another discussion. As revealed by Feng, the World Bank lead security architecture lead invited Elastos co-founders again for another meeting on modern internet and trusted computation in San Francisco on March 8, 2019. All right. So there they go for another discussion. As they mentioned, with the look of things, it appears the World Bank believes in Elastos modern internet use cases and may soon begin to vouch for the blockchain firm any moment now. Right? But this whole article was written in March, and the speculation at the time was maybe that the World Bank would vouch for Elastos, basically. Well, was it Leslie that maybe did so? Because now they are part of the World Economic Forum Global Innovators community, talking about all these different use cases with the future in data, right? So I just found that all interesting. And as you can see, he was there, right? But on the back end of this as well, so there's this thing called the Global Technology Governance Summit, first one ever. It is happening on April 6th and 7th. So if you guys want to check that out, watch that. I'm sure they will touch on a lot of points that could be important to pay attention to going forward for Elastos and just the future of the world. But anyway, who will the speakers be there? So I don't know all of these, but you got the Singapore foreign minister, the CEO of Salesforce, the governor of Tokyo, the chairman of Hitachi, chairman of Siemens, and the CEO of YouTube, along with some others that I don't know. So, but anyway, thought that was important. So yeah, if you guys want to keep up with that, I would definitely check that out. All right, but another thing that ties in with this World Bank stuff, right? So this project called Elastos Leo was started in October 2019 after they had already met with the World Bank and so on. So the initiative, right, was started by the Chief Information Security Architect at the World Bank, as we already mentioned, Long Wang, the Vice President of Tencent Cloud, which I'll talk about a little more later on, and another name I can't pronounce, which is the Chief System Engineer at Huawei Intelligent Data and Storage, along with the president of Huobi University, right? So you see where this is going. It's all pretty much connected now. I haven't heard anything about this project, though. At this point, it seems to be a complete mystery to me. But overall, this entire thing with Elastos seems to be a mystery. And I think there's more going on behind the scenes than we're being told, essentially. But I don't know. We'll see what happens, but they seem to be pretty well connected, right? And another one, as you can see right here, Fang just tweeted this out on March 7th. He said, Tencent Cloud, VP Long Wang, as I just mentioned, initiated data capitalization campaign with me in the Tencent headquarters. He says now he's leaving from Tencent and will become the Credit Oracle co-CEO and will work together to push the strategic cooperation with Tencent, right? So he's saying that Credit Oracle, who Long Wang's coming over to be the CEO of, is going to help with the cooperation with Tencent, right? And then also, it's launched. The first work meeting done between Credit Oracle and China UnionPay, right? So he had hinted that they were going to be working with UnionPay on this Credit Oracle service about a month back, 2 months back at this point. And now coming over to their website, we can hit some major bullet points that matter here. So UnionPay is now accepted by over 28 million merchants across the globe. All right. And it also has 200 million users in the app. And I believe it is a larger credit card service than both Visa and MasterCard combined. So obviously this is massive. Why does this matter for Elastos? Well, if you come over to this article, I'll put the link in the description. Development begins for Elastos native Credit Oracle network, right? Who the former VP of cloud services at Tencent is now the CEO of. It is built specifically for Elastos. Credit oracles will operate in conjunction with Chainlink's Oracle network, tapping off-chain data for both external blockchains and traditional data sources to facilitate the efficient and effective functioning of DeFi platforms across the Elastos ecosystem. Elastos credit oracles will play a unique role in providing services related to digital asset ownership and personalized credit issuance. Most importantly, credit oracles will draw on Elastos network of delegated proof-of-stake nodes to verify off-chain data and will only accept payment in ELA, thus establishing a decentralized operating environment and contributing another use case for ELA. So there you go, if you're wondering why this matters for Elastos itself. All right. That should about do it for today. If you found value in the content today, the link is in the description below for my Patreon group as well. With that, you'll get access to my Discord and also the option to keep up with my day-to-day trade updates, right? And in there, I go and post each trade that I make and also explain my thinking and rationale behind the trade, all right? So if that seems like something you could find value in, definitely check it out, all right? As for this video, that should do it. As always, please like and subscribe, share with your friends and family, and stay tuned for the next one. Thanks. NFT.